Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Sheila with Sweetie's Creations and Decor, and today I'm in a Creatives for Christ, and that is, our host is the Painted Peach, Mary, and we hope that you will join our playlist and watch everybody today. So this will premiere on July 23rd. So come on in, say hello. I'm using this beautiful church today, and this is a print from Reba Rose Creations, and I will put the SKU number in my description. Isn't that beautiful? When I saw that country church, I just had to do this one. I love it with all the flowers blooming. And I go past a lot of these churches here in the South. They have a lot of these churches, still have a lot of old churches, and I just love the beauty of old buildings and the history. So I'm just going to take my tool. This is a little tool I got from Amazon. It's called a ruler. This one is We Are Tear Guide, and I can put a link for that as well. And I'm going to do this other side. I've already done the other two. I'm just going to take this little white edge. When you have some decoupage paper, and this is rice paper, you will have a little bit of white on the sides a lot of times. And we're just going to take a little bit of that off. And we're just going to do a simple creation today. Just keep tearing till you get it. You also can put this to the side. So if you do not want to put it through there, you can put it to the side just like this and tear it the same way. So I'll tear a little bit of this off that I got stuck here. All right. So this is going to fit on an 8x10 canvas. That fits just perfectly. All right, let's hang this back up out of our way. Anything that we can kind of move on out of the way. I went ahead and painted my surface. Now sometimes they come with some gesso already on it. This one did not, so I went ahead and put a coat of the saltwater taffy from Paint Pixie paint on there. Okay, did that. And we're just going to take some of our Mod Podge in the multi. I love this Mod Podge. It's a thinner, not quite as thick as some of the other Mod Podge, and it works really well. So we're just going to put that on our surface and have it ready. It's always good to have a paint underneath. It's going to help your print adhere better, and then gives you some paint on the sides if you have some sides that you can see. So it's always a good idea to paint it. I'm going to dry it just a little bit, and then we're going to do a little ironing on it. I like to iron mine. It reactivates the glue and it makes your print lay down flat. But you don't have to iron it if you want to just do it. Also, you can use a plastic bag on your hands and just rub it down, and that's going to give you, make sure you can see my surface. That's just going to give you another adhesion. So all kinds of things you can do, or you can put it directly on. I like to dry mine just a little bit to make sure that I'm not getting that wetness on my print, because I don't want to ruin my print with watermarks. So that's why I go ahead and use the iron. I'm going to use my parchment paper here. And sometimes you do have things on your iron, so it's a good idea to always use parchment paper. Never use plastic wrap with the iron, or wax paper, because it will definitely pull your piece up. So parchment paper is the best. It can be the brown or the white. Okay, we got that on. That right back over here out of our way. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that iron off. I believe we're through with it. Looks like it's pretty good. We will sand just a little bit here down on the sides and the bottom. We'll make sure that it's on really well. You can take a plastic bag and put it over your hand and push it down as well. So I'm just going to take my sandpaper and go ahead and get this part off the bottom. You can pick these up at the dollar store sometimes. I get the ones without the frames. I just like the way they do better. That way I can put it in my own frame. Or you can find them at Five Below. I'm just going to sand that off a little bit. Just the little parts that we have at the edge. Not a whole lot needed. Okay. Okay, there we go. I'm not going to worry too much about those little edges. I just sand mine just a touch. There we go. We've got our beautiful print. You could just use that right there. It's just gorgeous the way it is. We are going to add some embellishments. So I am going to go ahead and put some flowers on here. I'm going to go back with this just a little bit right there. I feel it pulling just a little bit. I'm just going to put a little bit on the edge. This Mod Podge is not shiny. It is a matte, so it's not going to show shiny, that's a tongue twister, on the sides. So we're now going to work with some of these florals, and I think we'll use these. These are kind of some dried flowers that I picked up at Joann's before they went out of business here. And I love the way these look, and I think this will be pretty here on the side. So I'm going to kind of fluff them up a little bit, and I think just one will be enough here. I love the way this is made. You can fluff it out or you can leave it together, either one, a little bit of both. And we'll take that. I'm going to use a little bit of this greenery that's on here. Take a little bit of that. This just gives it another little look. I like to just add a few florals to kind of make it stand out a little bit on the sides and gives it a little 3D effect, and I like that. Here's another little piece off of it. We'll put a little piece of that. And I love the little plume. I think it's cute. So let's take it too. Okay. We've got some other little pieces. So we'll take a few of the pieces off of this. It does have some little white flowers. I also have some Sweet Annie that I think I'm going to add. And I've got a couple of these little pink flowers like this, and I think I'll add a few of those. We're just going to add a little bit of this on the side just to give it a little look. I like to add florals to mine on the side just to dress it up, make it have a little 3D. You're just going to add some, you can just add some hot glue. If you want to add some other glue, you can do that. I'm just going to use my Ryobi and just put a little touch of glue here and there. You also could put a little other greenery on there too, and we may do that. And I'm just going to press that down in our glue, and I'm going to put this one right in here just to bring that in. And maybe this little piece, I don't like as much of that, so I'm going to cut a little bit of that off. Just kind of do you. This is not a hard creation at all. So we'll trim a little bit of this off because it is a little long. I am going to put a little bit more glue right in here. I'm just going to set that there. I'll put that in there. We don't want to take away from our print. And then I'm going to add a couple of these little pink flowers. That's just going to give it another little look. And I'm going to add some Sweet Annie in. So we're going to put a little bit, I'm putting the glue kind of underneath the petals and things so that you don't see as much of that hot glue. Then we're just going to take some pieces of our Sweet Annie. If you've never smelled the scent of this Sweet Annie, it just smells so delicious and looks pretty in your arrangements. So we're going to put that right there. Just a little bit of that. A little bit more down in here. On the side. And we're just adding some florals. Nothing big. If you haven't ever added these to the corner, they just make it look a little bit more fancier, give you a little bit of a different look. I like to just add some florals there instead of all over. I just like a little simple look. And I especially like them in the corners where you just need a little something. I'm just going to add that little greenery right there. You don't have to put a lot. Just find you some florals that you like. Put a little bit more for that. Needed a little more. Let's put a little piece of this greenery. I have all kinds of greenery. I love to use greenery, and I buy a lot of the greenery in one of the long garlands, and that way I can just trim off what I want. So we'll put a little bit right in here to give that a little bit more greenery right there. So that looks pretty. Just something simple, just something kind of simple. Let's put a little greenery down here at the bottom because I think it needs something down here. Right down in here. I'll put a little bit underneath the flower so that that'll kind of just blend in that side, kind of fill that in. A little bit right there. And that was just some of their dried flowers. There's the other one. And we've got this little piece here, but I don't think we need that. I think we'll put one more little piece of greenery over in here. And I think that just blends in really well. Let's see, where did I decide? Right in here. I'm going to put just a little dab and that little piece of greenery right there. And one more little piece of our Sweet Annie. This is a dried flower that you can order. People love it. Some people don't like the scent, but I like the scent, so it doesn't bother me. So they've just got a sweet flower garden all the way around the church. I think that's looking beautiful. Now let's get our piece here. I do have a cross. This is a Totally Dazzled cross. I did take the back off. Let me grab my B7000. You want to add hot glue and B7000. The B7000 is for your permanent hold, and then your, hold on, we got a little ookie on here. Got to get that off so that this will work. And you're just going to put this around on all your edges. This is going to be your permanent glue. Just put it around, and then you're going to put your hot glue where you do not have this glue. So you're going to put it here in some of the other places, like down these little small places here, a little bit right in here, so that you're not using the hot glue on top of the other glue. It can cancel itself out where it doesn't work. Okay. Be careful with your fingers. We're just going to put this up in the corner. I just think it's gorgeous up there in the corner, just like over the church. I'm going to hold that down just a moment. I had this beautiful heart as well. I was trying to decide if I could put that in somewhere. And I'm thinking I might put it right here in the flowers. I just feel like that Jesus should be in our heart, and so I love the heart as an extra embellishment. So let's just go ahead and put it right there. I love this heart. I knew I wanted to use it when I saw it. It's also a Totally Dazzled piece. And excuse my apron, but I do wear an apron a lot of the times because, y'all, I am a messy and I get paint and everything else on me. So it's just easier to wear that. And I'm just going to put it right here on that leaf, just like having a heart. Okay, now I want to take a little bit of some white sand metallic and a little bit of my sterling metallic. These are from Paint Pixie. I'm just going to take just a little bit here. A little dab of each. Okay, and I'm going to take a little bitty brush that I have over here. Let's see. Here's one that I like. Let me get it wet just a little bit, because sometimes they get a little dry when they sit, and it's better to go ahead and put a little water in it and get it moving a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to mix these together, mostly the silver, and just put just a little bit of that other in it. And I am just putting just a little bit of this for a touch on our church. So I'm not putting very much, just a little bit for a highlight. And I'm going to do a little bit right here on the handle of the door. And this is just going to give it a little look like it's been decorated up just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a shine. You don't want a whole lot, just a little bit to kind of give it just a little something. So I am going to put a little bit on our steeple here as well, a little bit on our steeple up in here, and a little bit right in here on these little pieces, and then a little bit across our window right there, and a little bit right here on top. Not a lot, just a little bit, just to give it a little highlight, just to brighten it just a little bit. You can also put a little bit in your flowers, and I just kind of do a little comma in my flowers, and I'm going to use a little bit of that white too, and just highlight those just a little bit, just to bring them out. So you can paint on your decoupage, and that's just going to give them a little look, just to brighten them up just a little bit. I think I'll put a little bit over here as well. The commas just kind of give it just a little look without putting too much paint. So I think that's all that I'm going to do to that. It's just pretty simple today. Just grab you a print and a little bit of paint if you want to paint it a little bit. Some beautiful jewels, some flowers in the corner, and then you have a sweet, quick piece that you can use. And I'm just going to put a little hanger on the back with some jute to hang it, or I'm going to put a block on it and just let it be a shelf sitter. So this is something quick and easy that you can do with any decoupage print, and I just loved this one, and I hope that you enjoyed that short and easy today. Have a wonderful and blessed day, and thank you for subscribing. Please leave me a heart, a bell, and a comment. Thank you.